As a teacher, when you prepare for a class, how do you plan? Do you plan keeping the importance of concepts in your mind, or do you follow the same sequence of concepts given in a particular unit? Or do you plan for a single class? Or do you plan all the lessons covering related concepts for a particular unit? When you plan the latter one, what is it called? Dear teachers, this type of planning is known as unit planning. Unit planning help in lesson planning. In today's discussion, we will discuss about what is unit plan, why unit plan is needed, what are different benefits of unit plan, how plan for it, and how concept map can be used for unit planning. To discuss about all those concepts, we have Dr. Gaurav Singh from School of Education. Dr. Gaurav, welcome.
Thank you.
So, first question comes in our mind, why unit planning is needed?
Very good question, Dr. Anjali. Actually, when a teacher start planning, they not only plan for a single class, they basically plan sometimes for the whole session that we call year plan. Then when they come down, they basically plan for the concepts which are related to each other. They can cover those concepts in one class, they can cover those concepts in more than one class many times. So they basically take a unit for planning as a one point, and then they divide the unit into certain lessons. So unit planning is very important for a teacher when a teacher is going to plan for any particular subject. So your question was why unit planning is required.
Yes.
The first thing about the unit planning is that unit planning help the teachers in planning teaching and learning logically. There are many concepts. Maybe in textbook those concepts are in one sequence in a unit or in a chapter, but it is the teacher who can decide which concept can come first, which concept will come later. So what will be the sequence of the concepts? Not only this, when a teacher plan about the unit, they basically think about the whole unit. They plan it as a comprehensive way. They basically plan the whole unit in comprehensive way. They do not plan one lesson only or two lesson only. Along with this, they also try to integrate the subject matter thematically. Means if there are certain themes in the unit, then which content will fix with which theme. So unit planning help the teachers to integrate the subject matter in thematic way. Along with this, when teacher plan always in details. So unit plan basically provide a detailed view of the teaching plans. Along with this, when they plan the lesson plan or the unit plan, they basically integrate many things. They integrate the subject content, they integrate the objectives, they integrate the assessment strategies, they integrate the learning strategies. So the content, the objectives, the learning strategies, the assessment strategies, all are being integrated through unit planning. That's why unit planning is an important step in the process of planning.
So we can say that unit planning provides a roadmap.
Yes.
Which leads to development of lesson plan.
Yes.
So I think before going to discuss about unit planning, concept of a unit should be clarified to our learner.
Yes, it is important to tell to the viewers and the learners that what is a unit.
Yes.
And how a unit leads to unit planning. So when we talk about unit, a very famous pedagogue, Morrison, who basically given the approach of unit planning approach in 1961. So Morrison defined the unit that unit is a comprehensive series of related and meaningful activities which are so developed as to achieve people's purpose, and not only people's purpose, it also provide significant educational experiences and it result in appropriate behavioral changes. So Morrison basically defined a unit as it is a comprehensive series of related concepts. It provides a detailed overview, it integrates the educational experiences, and it results into appropriate behavioral changes. So this unit basically leads to unit planning. Now if I come to the unit planning, a unit plan basically includes the concepts and learning objectives which are to be taught in various lessons of a unit. So a unit may have various lessons, right? Second, a unit plan reflects the interrelation of the concepts as well as the experiences and issues often across the subject area also. So whatever are the experiences of the learner, whatever are the issues to be integrated with the content, what is the content given in the textbook, so all these things are being interconnected, and a unit plan in details reflect on all these.
So now, can you say what are the benefits of unit plan?
You can draw the benefits of the unit plan, as I have already told you why unit plan is required and what is a unit plan. So if you want to draw the benefits of the unit plan, the first benefit of the unit plan is that unit plan basically mapped around a central problem or a purpose. So in every unit plan there is a theme, a central point. The whole unit is planned around to
Central
theme. Not only this, unit plan basically considers all the related concepts around the main theme. So it not only think about the central theme, it also think about all the related concepts around the central theme. Unit plan also brings a continuity and comprehensiveness in planning. Why I am talking about continuity? Because when a unit plan is being made, a teacher think about the central theme, think about the related concepts, and what is the flow of the knowledge from one concept to another concept. So it brings basically a continuity in the relationship of the concept.
Interrelationship between concept and sub-concept.
Yes. And it also brings the opportunity where learner can participate.
That is very important aspects.
Yes. Because many times it is said that when a teacher is making a lesson plan, generally teacher made lesson plan on his or her own. But when a teacher is going to make a unit plan, it also plan how the learner will be integrated or how learners participation will be ensured in different lessons at different points in different activities. Not only this, when a teacher plan the unit plan, it basically guide a teacher to identify the topics on which he will or she will develop a lesson plan. So unit plan basically helps teachers to plan daily lessons, and it also guide because it helps to plan daily lessons. So when a teacher plan a unit plan, teacher also can identify the resources required for a particular lesson. So a unit plan basically guides the teacher to arrange the resources according to the requirements in advance before going to the class. And a teacher basically try to involve the translation of journalistic goals or general goals into more specific objectives. Because when we plan for a unit, our objectives are not very specific. They are basically general in nature. But the moment we move from a unit to lesson, we move from general objectives or general goals to specific objectives. So a unit plan also helped in that. And a unit plan helped in maintaining a proper pace of teaching to complete the unit. Actually, if a teacher plan one lesson at one time, so sometime a teacher may take more time for one lesson, and if there are designated sessions or the classes to a particular subject, a teacher may fail to provide enough opportunity to each type of content in the lesson. But if he or she will plan a unit, he basically do proper time management also.
Also help in classroom management and time, management.
So these are the few benefits.
So we can say that unit planning helps in planning, designing, organizing teaching learning activities
Yes.
sequentially and logically.
Yes.
Or we can say if unit planning done effectively, learner experiences can be maximized.
Yes.
So how can we make effectively unit plan, or what are the various steps of unit planning?
Actually, unit planning is a very flow chart type thing. You do many things in a sequence way. Like when a teacher want to develop a unit plan, the first thing he or she has to do, they have to divide the content of a unit into sub-content, subtopics. So content analysis is very important for the unit planning. After that, they try to identify the learning outcomes of a unit. What are the expected learning outcomes of the unit? Why that unit is in the syllabus? For that particular level of the learner, what are the expected learning? For example, if there is a unit on cell, a unit on a cell may be in class 6, the unit on a cell may be in class 9th, the unit on a cell may be in class 12th. But expected learning outcome will vary for learners of class 6, for learners of class 9th and the learners of class 12th.
Yes, level
Right.
of learning.
So, according to the level of the learner, according to the nature of the content, a teacher not only divide the content into subtopics or subunits or lessons, but they also identify the expected learning outcomes. And after identifying the expected learning outcomes, the next step is they decide about the methods of the teaching and techniques of the teaching which they will use. After that, they plan how they will interact with the learners.
Learner participation.
Learner participation, how they will ensure. And not only this, they also plan about the evaluation. So a unit plan is basically a complete plan which starts from distribution of the content
or content
and
analysis.
moves towards the end till the evaluation or assessment strategies. So when a teacher basically plan about a unit, the most important step is basically content analysis.
So there is any format of unit plan?
There are various formats. Actually, there is not a single format, but I want to show you a draft format. You can see on the slide also that in a draft unit plan, there is a column which reflects about the topics and sub-concepts. There is a column which reflects about the expected learning outcomes. Then there is a column which talk about the activities and strategies and learning resources to be used in that particular lesson and assessment strategies. And whatever format I am showing you, it is basically for one segment. If a teacher decides to break a unit into 4 topics or 4 lessons or 5 lessons, they have to prepare this format for each lesson or for each topic.
Each topic.
Only then the unit plan will be a complete unit plan.
So Dr. Singh, we can say this is only a one format.
Yes.
Teacher can develop various formats according to their needs or nature of content.
Agree.
So as we rightly discussed, unit planning start from concept mapping or content analysis.
Right.
So how can we do content analysis? Generally a unit have different concepts,
Right.
sub-concepts,
Yes.
principles, facts. All these concepts, sub-concept, facts are interrelated. We want to see their relationship. How can we see their relationship? I think concept map can help in identifying relationship between concepts and sub-concepts.
Yes, concept mapping is basically a very beautiful tool. Nowadays, after a shift from behaviorist perspective to constructivist perspective, the use of concept map is very popular. Now teachers are using concept mapping for planning, concept mapping for content analysis, concept mapping even for assessment also. So if our teachers want to use concept map in unit planning, they should also know what a concept map is, what are its basic ingredients, or you can say the components, and how they can use the concept map in unit planning. So if you want to use a concept map as a tool for planning, then you can tell to the teachers that a concept map basically help in linking various concepts and their relationship. So a concept map, they can plan to link various concepts. It also helps in developing a holistic view of the unit. As I told you already that when a teacher plan a unit plan, the holistic view is very important, and concept map is a tool which can be used to develop a holistic view. A concept map also basically help a teacher to distribute the lesson accordingly and establish linkages between various lessons which are planned in that unit. Along with that, teacher can plan the teaching strategies, they can identify the resources, they can arrange the content, they can develop assessment tools also for assessment at the end of the unit. So concept map can be used for various purposes.
So then next question comes in our mind or learners, what is concept map?
A concept map is basically a visual representation of meaningful relationships between various concepts in form of propositions. So propositions basically are the concepts and sub-concepts and how these are related to each other. If we draw a visual relationship between these, that is a concept map. So if you see any typical concept map, you will see in a concept map there are nodes and there are connecting links. Let me show you a design of a typical concept map. In a typical concept map, there are three things. One is node, another is connecting lines, and third one is label on lines. Nodes basically represents the concepts and sub-concepts. Connecting lines represents the relationship between those concepts and sub-concepts, and label on line basically reflects the nature of connection. If you see in this slide, you can see that there is a key concept. The key concept is linked with some general concepts. General concept is linked with a specific concept or less general concept. So the terms in the boxes or in the circle, they are basically concepts and sub-concepts. These are propositions. Then there is a line which is reflecting the linkage, and the link is basically explaining the type of linkage. I think it will be better if I will show you a concept map first as an example, and then I am going to tell you that how you can use that concept map for unit planning. You see this concept map. This is a concept map on a concept called atom. So our teachers know that atom, when they want to teach about atom, they can teach about subatomic particle, they can teach about atomic models, they can teach about mass numbers, they can teach about many things, right? So if this is the whole lesson, so what a teacher has done, she has basically linked all the related concepts in that unit in a logical way. Now if she want to develop a concept map and use it for lesson planning or unit planning, what she will do, she will identify the concepts to be covered in one lesson. Like in the whole concept, in the whole concept map you can see on the slide, she has identified one section. If you see this section is basically reflecting about the atoms, the subatomic particles. Under the subatomic particles, the proton, electron and neutron.
For lesson 1. It is
for lesson 1. So what she has decided that she will teach only this much concept in one lesson. So when she will plan about this, what she will do, if you can see in the table that under the section topic and sub-concept, she has written the basic structure of the atom in bracket electron, proton, neutron structure. Then the expected learning outcomes. The expected learning outcome may be one. Expected learning outcomes may be more than one for a lesson. So he or she, whatever a teacher is planning, he or she will write the expected learning outcomes. Then what activities? Like here she has decided that she will show the activity, the charge in the particles, and she will design a role play on the subatomic particle. So what learning resource she will use? She will use a 3D model of an atom, and how she will assess it? She will assess by using a crossword puzzle.
So we can say that topics, learning outcomes, activities, learning resources, assessment strategies, all are interrelated.
And unit planning help basically in planning all these things in sequence. Let me show you the second lesson. In the same unit plan or in the same concept map, now the teacher has identified the section related to electron.
So this is the second lesson plan.
Yes. So in second lesson plan, the teacher is going to talk about the electron, the presence of valence electron, the concept of valency, the sub-concepts of orbits and cells. So now she has planned another lesson where she is talking about the electron, the valency, the orbit, distribution of electrons, Bohr-Bury scheme, concept of valency, etc. She has decided that after completion of this lesson, learners will be able to distribute electrons according to Bohr-Bury scheme. So what she is trying to do, she is trying to use brainstorming and discussion on possible structure of atom, and she will give certain exercises to fill the electrons in the orbits and role play. What she will use the model of nucleus and orbit, she will use placards of the electrons and orbits and neutrons, and at the end she will use a unit test of 10 marks. So again she has planned everything.
In one unit, we have discussed 2 lessons, and lesson 2 is related to lesson 1.
But it comes because it is logically sequenced.
Logically sequenced.
Once you talk about the electron, proton, neutron, only then you can talk about the orbit and Bohr-Bury principle. After that, what she did, she has taken the third step, that is atomic models, that how electron, proton and neutron are placed in an atom, right? There are various atomic models. So what she has decided, now she is going to talk about 3 main models, that is Thomson model, Bohr's model and Rutherford's model. So when these models she is going to talk about, she will again decide that what will be the topic. Like you can see in the table, she is talking about the expected learning outcome for this section. Then she is going to demonstrate the atomic models and use discussion method. She will use video animation of the atomic models, and she will ask learners for the pictorial demonstration of atomic models as an assessment strategy. You can also notice here that in every lesson, the teacher has decided different types of strategies for teaching, different types of learning resources, and different types of assessment strategies. So this will reflect that a lesson can be assessed by a number of strategies. As you told earlier, that if 2 teachers will plan 2 unit plans on the same topic, their unit plans will not be same.
Because their concept mapping is different.
Every teacher will design his or her own concept map. Let us move to the last section of this unit which I have shown you. In this unit, in the last section, in lesson 4, the teacher is going to talk about the atoms, the mass number, the atomic number, isobars and isotopes. So she has taken only this much section, and now because this much section she has already decided from the concept map, she has planned only for this section that she will talk about the atomic number, she will talk about the mass number, she will talk about the symbolic representation, she will talk about the isotopes and isobars, and she has decided a learning outcome that learners will be able to cite examples of isotopes and isobars. So what she will do, she will give a small project to explore the use of isotopes and isobars. She will use video demonstration and example from the daily life utilities of isotopes and isobars. So in this way, if you see this example, what she has done, she has basically distributed the whole unit into small chunks of the content. She decided that what lesson I will teach first, what will be my second lesson, what will be my third lesson, what will be my fourth lesson. Then she planned what teaching strategy I will use, what learning resource I required, what kind of assessment strategy I will use. So unit plan is nothing, just a planning of all these things in a holistic manner. Unit planning is different from the lesson planning in the sense that in lesson plan, we only think about a lesson of 30 minutes or 40 minutes in one go. But when we plan a unit, we talk about all the lessons, their relationship, their integration, their sequencing, and how they will be presented in a class. So in this way, concept map can be used effectively in developing a unit plan.
So we can say by the use of concept map, we can make an effective unit plan.
Yes.
So dear learners, in today's discussion, we have not only discussed about unit planning, benefits of unit planning, But also we have discussed how can we use concept map for unit planning. We wish you will develop unit plan by using concept map and refine your teaching skill. We wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you.